What's up, buddy?
Awesome.
Hey.
Good to see everyone. How's everyone doing?
Great, thank
Doing
you.
well, thank you.
Mark, this has been a tradition now. We speak every season, and there's new episodes of Son of a Critch coming out, which is awesome.
Yeah, it keeps on going, and this guy keeps growing, and it's fun to see. It's every year something new.
Absolutely. Benjamin, I want to start with you. Is it the same thing every year, that script to screen journey with a new season of Son of a Critch? Because like Mark said, Mark's growing every year, but what is that like for you, getting these scripts and actually kind of seeing it come to life on screen? Does it change each season, or is it similar for you?
Yeah, I feel like there's the same feeling of getting the Son of a Critch, the first 4 episodes, and that kind of feeling of it getting going, and kind of having those first initial kind of experiences of seeing where the season's going. And I feel as though this season it's a little different because it's the first year of me, Fox, and Ritche all going to high school together. And so there's those feelings of, okay, a new start, a new change, but then throughout there's great stories of, whether it's Colton and Dick Dunphy and that storyline, and there are, a few other things going on, and it just feels like it's a year of further growth of all of these stories, but also a refreshing start for my character, at least.
Oh, absolutely. Claire, I wanted to kind of ask you specifically, because it's been now 3 seasons where you've done this, where, the episodes come out, you see the reaction and everything on CBC. So what's that like for you? Are you getting used to that kind of process now? Because now it's going to be season 4 where you make this film, you wrap, and then people get to see what you worked on. What's that like for you with Son of a Critch specifically?
It's really brilliant to actually get the feedback. It is one of those interesting things while we're taping, we're only kind of getting that from each other. And what does it feel like through the set, through the crew? And then it takes months and months and months for us to actually get that info from the audience. But I just did a couple of really interesting media things with CBC. And there were a ton of people who came up and said what kind of great experiences they're having with the families watching it together. That their teenage, preteen kids are getting feeling a little bit more kind of cuddly and young again while watching something that's really charming and family friendly. And there's something really brilliant about that. And the fact that we can kind of keep that feeling going every season is amazing.
No, that's so well said. Colton, good to see you again, man. Long time no see.
Long time no see, PD. What's going on?
I did want to ask, because one of the best things about this is obviously kind of the evolution and growth of the relationship between the siblings, right? Mark and his brother and everything. And I'm just wondering, what is that like season after season, seeing those conversations with Ben, those conversations with Mark about kind of bringing that kind of sibling kind of complexity to life on screen for Son of a Critch specifically?
It's really wonderful, man. I mean, I feel like a broken record always saying how much I love these guys and how much of a true family it is. But with Ben specifically, I can't stand him when it's just personal things. So it's only on screen. No, really. I'm the youngest sibling of 3, and so I've never been the older brother. And so that was an adjustment in season 1. But I feel like over the last 4 years, I've really, really cherished the time that Ben and I have gotten to hang out and seeing him grow literally and metaphorically. That's another thing I'm going to continue to bring up, because this boy now has me beat, and man, it's not a fun time. Yeah, seeing him grow as a person and as an actor, it's truly a tremendous thing seeing him blossom. And I would never say this to his face, but yeah, it's very, very fortunate to be with these guys.
Absolutely. Yeah, you have Claire in the middle right now, so you don't really have to.
I'm like, here it goes. There's my role in the show right now. Here it is.
Mark, I wanted to ask you this because I do find it interesting. And, when we talked in the past, about the CBC launch and people getting to see it in the States as well, I always thought about the kind of coming of age, relatability, people kind of relate to Son of a Critch, right? Because it might remind them of, their family. But at the end of the day, this is about your family. This is about your life. So was it ever a ping pong match of, I want to make this show that kind of, is about my family and what I kind of went through and everyone helping me, but also I do want to make it kind of a relatable show that other people can kind of relate to as well. Do you think about that? Because I do find that interesting a little bit.
Not really. What I've found with this is kind of the more specific you make it to your own life, the more people will relate to it, because it may not have grown up in Newfoundland in a house with an old man or whatever, but we've all been worried about the school, or we've all fallen in love for the first time. So those are things that people relate to. And the strange thing is, whenever anybody stops me on the street or I talk to people and they say, I like this part of the show, or I like this moment in particular because it spoke to me in my life, those are always things that actually happened. And they're true, very specific things. And the more real you make it, I think, the honest moments, those are the ones people find and relate to.
Absolutely. No, that's really well said. Ben, I wanted to ask specifically because, look at your past kind of body of work. You've played all these different characters, but specifically they've always been these different worlds, right? Which I think is really interesting. And I'm wondering, how separate are like past projects versus something like Son of a Critch or vice versa? Like, do you bring things from different projects, mindset preparation wise, despite them being different kind of genres or characters, or are they completely separate once you wrap them specifically?
I mean, yeah, I think process-wise and rehearsal-wise, and you pick up all different things, and there are some things that it's a comedy, but it's rooted in kind of seriousness.
Yep.
And so the way you work, it's like they do differ. So you've got, I've found that over different experiences, and now doing this every summer, it's almost like you take things, whether it's I can work through a scene this way, or I can learn lines much more efficiently and feel more. You just prepared overall, from show to show. So I think doing this and having this as like a rock and as a thing that keeps happening every summer has just been really, a great experience and felt like, just the family on the rock. And I think, I think everyone here is probably, more experienced than I do. But at least for me, I find that, the more different things you do, I think, the better your experiences become.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, Colton, we have Mark here, by the way. We should ask him. We need that quote that I like from last season, right? Mark, there's a specific quote when, Mark is selling he's thinking about selling his comic book collection in last season, and he's talking to Pop. And what was the specific official, because I remember it resonated with me so much and I loved it. I was telling people about it, but I don't remember. It was growing up. Getting old is mandatory. Growing up is optional. Do you remember what the official quote was?
Yeah, I think Pop says growing old is mandatory, but growing up is optional. Yeah, which is very true. I think anybody I know, like Malcolm, or my great friend who's passed, Gordon Pinsent, or Kevin Lewis, who is my theater arts teacher, who is a character in this season. As they all got older, they all had mischief, a little twinkle in their eye, and they all had a passion, something they loved, which was acting or what have you. And that's the trick to things, I think, is finding something that gives you joy and never really taking anything too seriously. Seeing the humor in things, being childlike, and wonder and curiosity. When people get old, they lose their curiosity, I think. And that's what makes it.
I love that line. I watch so much TV and film because it's part of the gig, right? But that was always a line that stays with me. I've told people that line, and they've like written it down. I'm just saying that's good stuff.
We should get it on a pillow and sell it at Winners.
That would be great. No, it's great. Claire, I just wanted to ask, season 4, like I said, Mark's growing up. What can we expect with season 4 of Son of a Critch as the episodes kind of come up? What were some things that you did maybe this season that you didn't do or focus on in past seasons? What can you tell me about your experience with season 4 of Son of a Critch?
Oh, well, I do think there's a lot of change happening. A big growth, obviously, for young Mark, but because of that, there's changes in the household all around. So especially Mike Jr., there's like a whole life happening outside of the house now, and I actually get a bit of a life outside of the house this go around. So I'm actually getting to spend time doing other things. So it's really interesting for my character. There's so much taken care of. Me taking care of my men all the time. I don't stop doing that, but I start to take care of myself a little bit too. And I think that's really interesting to see.
Absolutely. To add to that a little bit, Colton, I just wanted to know, what was something, that you were really excited about for these kind of episodes for season 4 that you were really excited for people to see on CBC in the new year specifically?
I think there are some really wonderful, beautiful shots this season. Like visually, it looks stunning. You see one in the trailer on top of the Cathedral Church?
Basilica of St. John the Baptist. Yeah.
There it is. That shot alone is, I think, breathtaking. Seeing the harbor and everything that went into that. Just like in the last seasons, for Mike Jr. specifically, still growing, still doing new stuff. But it was really sweet this season because last year that we shot in the actual apartment of Mike Jr.? Was it this year, the first year that we had the set?
No, I think we had the set maybe last year. No, that was a location. We built the set this year. So we built you your own. He has his own sitcom house, basically. He's in the basement apartment, has his own set. Yeah.
And that's the dream. That's on the bucket list. So we shot in this apartment back in season 3, I think it was. And then coming in this year, it was recreated in the studio, which was just, I mean, it happens, but it was just surreal to see the attention to detail and how much work was put into it. So that's something that I love this season. I got my own apartment, Petey. It's awesome. I got my own friggin' set. Come on. What more can you ask for?
Look for the spin-off series, Mike Jr.'s Place.
No, absolutely. I wanted to thank you all for your time. It was great to chat with you. I can't wait for people to see season 4 of Son of Critch in the new year on CBC. Mark, Ben, Claire, Colton, good to see you both. Happy holidays, and thank you so much for your time. Really appreciate it.
Thank you, Petey. Always a pleasure.
Thanks.
Thank you for tuning in to Popternative. Make sure to check out our past episodes of Popternative on YouTube.
This has been an Autograph Communications production.